Heyo.
We're back, and it's that special time of the year. We've been waiting for it for months.
Big time.
It's tournament time, baby.
Let's go.
The bracket is set. The games start tonight. We've got the first four going on tonight. So it is almost time to lock in those brackets, and we are going to give you all of our picks.
Perfection.
We have our very own Tournament Challenge group on the ESPN Tournament Challenge website. We will share out those links on Twitter and Instagram, so please go join the group. Log in with the password bettingthew, all caps.
No caps.
No caps.
No
all
cap,
one
ever.
word. Never cap. See how we do. Test your skills against ours, and whoever wins the bracket challenge will get to come on the show and have a victory lap of their very own.
Come gloat a little.
You've earned it. If you can beat our picks, you've earned it, because
You beat our perfect brackets.
we've got some
What's better than perfection?
strong brackets going on right now. And Damon, let's jump right in
There we
to
go.
those brackets. I want to know, the first few rounds are a lot of chalk. I'm actually surprised. I like a lot of lower seeds this year, but there are a lot of heavy favorites. South Carolina, we feel like we'll probably have a good chance of advancing past the first round.
Norfolk State though?
Norfolk State looks nice. You can't overlook any opponent in this tournament. It is March after all. But out of the top left corner, Greenville won. Do you have any upsets that you feel good about that you've got in your bracket?
I love me some Illinois.
I knew this was coming.
Yeah, I like them going pretty deep even, as long as they make it out of tonight.
It would be really funny if they lost before getting to the first round, but I have been drinking the Kool-Aid as well.
Yeah.
I like a good first four to advance far. On the men's side, I've got my boys from Pitt who took a dub last night.
Let's go.
I've definitely bought into your Illinois agenda, because I've got them going into at least the Sweet 16 right now.
Time to break it out again.
Creighton,
Watch out.
feel free to prove us wrong. Go right ahead. Feel free. But Illinois / Mississippi State, I do reserve the right to reevaluate if Illinois doesn't make the first round.
I was gonna say, I even like Mississippi State to beat Creighton.
Really?
I don't think I like this Creighton team is the issue.
I don't love Creighton, but I think I like them more than Mississippi State. But that being said, I do think Illinois takes care of business.
It would be hilarious though if Mississippi State men and women both get bounced in the first four.
That's right, because my pick was they bounced Mississippi State just last night. If they are the last four in for both tournaments and get sent home before the first round for both tournaments, that's a rough look for the athletic department down there in Starkville. Here's an upset that I like that kind of surprised me even that I liked it. I like Portland. 12 seed Portland to beat 5 seed Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And I know I haven't exactly loved Oklahoma. I've just liked them better than any other Big 12 team.
Mm-hmm.
Portland surprised me with their win in the WCC Conference Championship over Gonzaga. I think they've got a good chance, and I love just a 12-5 upset. Anyone who knows brackets knows that is the most wonderful upset out there. And I'm looking at Portland, and I'm like, I like what they've got going on.
Yeah, Pilots flying high.
That's right. Pilots over Sooners. I've got them advancing to the round of 32.
Nice.
So let's just go quadrant by quadrant. So on the top right, Greenville 2. Do you have upset? This is a weird quadrant. Let's start with that.
Oh my god, I have a lot of upsets. This is the most chaotic quadrant there is.
I'll say this quadrant has a 1 seed that I don't think should be a 1 seed in Indiana, a 2 seed that I don't think should be a 2 seed in Utah, and a 3 seed that might not be a 3 seed in LSU. I think the best team here might be Nova, but let's talk about the first round. Do you have upsets?
Too many to count, man. Let's go. I'll start off just going straight down the list.
Yep.
I like Miami over Oklahoma State.
Agreed.
I think both of these teams are decent. I mean,
I
Big
think
12,
they're both fine.
Big 12, ACC, both pretty mediocre. There's a lot of teams there. And just be on the lookout for a couple boosters by the scorers too.
Yeah, exactly. Miami's got the Cavender twins. By any means necessary, they're going to take a dub.
And here we go, talking 12/5. I like Florida Gulf Coast over Washington State.
I looked at this one for a while. I initially actually picked FGCU, and I might regret flipping on it. but I do like the momentum of Washington State.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I didn't want to have an 11 and a 12 on both sides of the bracket.
Yeah.
I don't like that look. I like a couple double-digit upsets, not every double-digit upset. So I had to pick a little bit of chalk here on this side, and I'm rolling with Wazoo.
Yeah.
But I like Florida Gulf Coast. They're a really good team.
Yeah. My issue here is I'm like a metronome when it comes to strength of schedule debate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on one side and then the other just every week.
Mm-hmm.
So Florida Gulf Coast, I think they can hoop. They haven't played the best teams.
True.
Washington State put through the ringer and they prevailed, but I just think they could hoop a little better.
Yeah, Washington State might just be a March team.
Yeah.
We might have to look out for that, but Florida Gulf Coast, like you said, they can hoop.
All right, let's keep it going down. I like Nova over Cleveland State.
Yeah, that was pretty.
That was the easy one.
Pretty simple.
Only one team is Mandy Seagrass.
Fact.
6-11. I don't know how you're riding here. I like UNLV over Michigan.
I have to agree.
Yeah.
This was it was either Florida Gulf Coast or UNLV, and I like the Rebs. I like the matchup with Michigan. Michigan kind of underperforms when they rise or fall to their opponent.
Yeah.
And I think if they play UNLV's brand of basketball, I think it really favors the Rebs. So I'm rolling with the 11 over 6 here.
Yeah. And I almost wanted to go Hawaii over LSU also.
Isn't it
I can't keep going. With
so
the upsets.
tempting?
I'm really low on this LSU team after that South Carolina game, and then after the Tennessee game even more.
Yep.
But I got to go LSU over Hawaii.
I do think LSU bounces back. I think they make a correction here in March. I think we didn't like what we saw in the SEC tournament. I think they get right in the national tournament.
Yep. And then how are you feeling about NC State Princeton?
So I don't know what to think about this.
Exactly.
I think we were both in pain over this one. I'm taking Princeton. I like a little, a 10 over 7 isn't exactly a huge upset, but why not Princeton?
They just play a smart brand of basketball.
They're just smart. They really do. If we're going by ACT scores, I think Princeton blows them out of the water here. I'm rolling with the Tigers. A little 10 over 7, a little something.
Okay, yeah, I like
a little spice.
I like NC State. They're not the team we thought they were going to be, but they are at the end of the season, there was a team that we knew what they are.
Yeah.
Every game going in, they're decent.
And there's something to be said for experience in the tournament because they returned some of a Final Four roster last year.
Yeah, exactly. And here's my one.
You gonna get crazy?
I'm getting crazy. Let's go. 14, 15, and 16 seeds are 1 in 335 combined. Let's make it 2 in 335. Gardner Webb. I'm rolling with the dancing Bulldogs.
That is interesting.
Shock the world.
I would love to see it. I think that would be absolutely hilarious. I think Gardner Webb's a real good team. I think Utah doesn't know exactly what they're getting into.
No.
However, I am rolling with the Utes. I think I gotta believe in them at some point, but Gardner Webb's gonna give them a game for sure.
Yeah.
I can see this being close late. Now let's see about in the bottom left region, Seattle 4. I have Stanford advancing. Stanford. Ole Miss Gonzaga really interests me.
Yeah, me too.
I was like, Gonzaga because they've been ranked all year because they're the name that I know as a basketball school. But then I flip-flopped. I like Ole Miss to beat Gonzaga in what would actually be, by seeding, a favorite, but kind of feels like it would be an upset if Ole Miss pulled that off.
Exactly.
I like the Rebs to advance here.
Yeah, I've been drinking your Kool-Aid. I think Gonzaga's been a fluke all year.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Rebs also.
I like that too, and that's going to be an interesting 1 versus 8 in the next round as well. You mentioned you were having trouble with Louisville Drake. I also had issues.
I was struggling here. I don't want to upset friend of the pod, Jan Jensen, Drake legend. I like Louisville though.
I do too. I made the mistake of betting against Drake in Champ Week, and I do hate to do this to the alma mater of our favorite assistant coach in college basketball, but I love Louisville. I love them in March. I think they're a March team. I think Haley Van
That's what I'm saying. I think she's a 6-game player, not a 30-game player.
Oh, absolutely. I think she was kind of bored all regular season and didn't feel like playing, and now she comes alive in the tournament. Texas, East Carolina. You gonna surprise me on this one, or?
No, I'm going Texas.
Same here.
I think it's gonna be a gross game.
It's gonna be really.
I think this whole region actually is just rat mode all the way.
I think we've got a designation for each quadrants. So top right is the overrated quadrant. Bottom left is the just scrappy, ugly basketball region.
Yeah.
We'll get to bottom right. That's the excellent nickname region.
Yeah, top left is South Carolina.
And yeah, it's at South Carolina and everybody else. I also have Texas advancing.
Yeah.
Kind of an easy one for me. And then another team that you love in this next matchup, Colorado.
Yeah.
A team that we all love in Middle Tennessee. I gotta pick against the Raiders though.
Really?
I think they've been great all season, but Colorado is like a really, really good team.
Yeah, I'm not going to do my boy Jack like that. I'm riding
Oh,
Tennessee.
word. Okay. I think this could go either way.
I
for
think
sure.
so too. And again, just going to be an ugly game.
It is going to be really ugly. I think Colorado has the edge on offense, and that will make the difference in the end. This next one, our team that we can't seem to figure out, but we love to watch. We want to talk about ugly basketball. Duke and Iona.
Oh.
I think Duke might have met their match. Iona won a game during the MAAC tournament, 39-37. I believe that was the final score. Neither team hit 40 points, which is levels of hitting the under that Duke could only dream of.
Oh my God.
So the under is a must hammer in this game, whatever it ends up being set at.
It might be set at like 40.
It might be. That would be so funny. This is going to have a football score for sure. I roll with Duke.
I'm rolling with Duke too. I pulled up Iona's shot chart, and it's the most interesting thing I've ever seen.
Just threes?
Just threes and layups.
That's not going to work against Duke. That's not going to work at all against this Duke team. They're so good defensively, and I think it stays in March.
I agree.
This next matchup is interesting to me. We've got Florida State and Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Two teams that I don't know a whole lot about.
That's exactly what I wrote.
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about you.
I don't know. I'm rolling with the stronger, what I feel is a stronger conference in Georgia. I think they're battle tested. They had a tight game against LSU. They played South Carolina, I think, to overtime. This is a team that's ready. Florida State, they're in that unpredictable ACC. We don't know what we're going to get from them.
No,
we're going to get a decent, a strong effort from Georgia.
It'll be a good game.
It will be a good game.
I'm riding with the Florida State though.
Okay. Yeah, I think that could easily go either way.
Yeah.
Easily. And then Iowa.
Yeah.
Duh. And then out of this, got to. And then in the Seattle 3 region, we got Virginia Tech, the 1 seed. Shout out to the Mocs. Got me a big 3 points during Champ Week. They'll give them a test, but I think it's Tech's game to lose there. We got the 8-9 is another interesting one. Mm-hmm. I love these 8-9s because it could really go either way. USC, Southern California, and South Dakota State. I'm rolling with the Jackrabbits.
Me too.
This is a team, we talk about battle tested. They're not exactly battle tested out of the Horizon League, but they win the games they're supposed to, and they're consistently good. They played a strong out of conference schedule. They were national attention. I think USC is another unpredictable team. I like consistency.
I'm surprised you went that way because I know how much you like this USC team.
I did. I was cured.
But the Jackrabbits just brutalized that league.
Yeah,
it was rough.
It's definitely adults among children in that league. So I think they're ready for USC for sure.
USC though, moving forward, Juju Watkins.
Right, that's going to be huge. They're going to be a team to watch out of the Pac-12.
She picked the wrong USC though.
That's true. That's true. She wanted to maybe signed on to USC and forgot the of.
Yeah.
That's a tricky one. Iowa State and Toledo. This is another weird one. Mm-hmm. I told you I like a good 12/5, but I like what I saw out of Iowa State in the Big 12 tournament. Yeah. Obviously, it's not the toughest conference to win, but they ran through that, unpredictable gauntlet, if you could even call it that, of the Big 12. Mm-hmm. I like them to stay strong. Iowa basketball rules, we've talked about that.
Yep, Iowa State. Also, Cyclones versus Rockets, man.
We talked about this is the coolest mascots. Hokies, Mocs, Trojans, Jackrabbits, Cyclones, Rockets. I mean,
come on.
It just keeps getting better. How about this? Volunteers versus Billikens. Tennessee versus St. Louis. We watched St. Louis's most recent performance. Broke our hearts against our fellow UMass folks. I like Tennessee here.
I like Tennessee too. Congrats on making the dance, first time ever. Good luck.
Sorry about that. I think Tennessee's hot at the right time. I think they take care of business against St. Louis for sure. Mm-hmm. And then in the last 4 games of the first round, we've got North Carolina facing either Purdue or St. John's. I don't think it really makes a difference who they face.
I agree.
I think St. John's is a little bit better, but I think either way, North Carolina is the better team, and they're going to take care of business.
Yep, I agree. I think UNC, I think St. John's, like you said, will give them a little bit of a run.
Yeah.
Purdue does not look good.
Not sure how Purdue really got here. But, yeah, I like the Heels either way to advance. And then in the next matchup, we've got Ohio State and James Madison. Remember, they played a barn murder in lacrosse earlier. I'm used to seeing these logos together. Ohio State, team we believed in early, really let us down late, although they did make the Big Ten championship game. So I think they're hot at the right time. I think they'll take care of business against James Madison.
I agree 100%. You got it.
And then in our next matchup, we've got Baylor and Alabama, which is another tough one to figure out. Yeah. I like Baylor just because they're Baylor. They have that name, and both these teams are hard to figure out, but I like Baylor here.
I like Bama because I'm tired of the Big 12.
Okay. That's reasonable.
I don't like any of these teams. I think if you coach up the Bears a little.
Yeah.
They're
unstoppable if they get a little something in them.
Bama also hasn't played in 2 weeks, so they got fresh legs.
Yeah, maybe rest versus rust. I think Bama wins that battle. And then my beloved Catamounts, I would love to make it up to you. You know, picking against you in the America East. I would love to make that up to you by picking you here, but in the battle for New England, this is a very tough draw. I'm taking Utah over.
Yeah, I agree.
That's not a tough one. And then in the round of 32, I've got the interesting kind of stops, at least in the top left here.
I agree.
I've got a lot of chalk in the round of 32. South Carolina, I've got over USF.
Yep.
Portland taking down UCLA taking down Portland in my bracket at least. I am sticking with Illinois. I'm still believing in your squad. I think they take down Notre Dame.
Me too. It'll be really interesting to see what's up with Olivia Miles.
Yeah.
Now I don't want to speculate. Never speculate. I don't think she's playing.
I don't think so either.
I don't think she's playing.
She's still on crutches, I think.
Yeah.
So it doesn't look like she's going to be available for the rest of the season, and I think that's going to make the world of difference. Yeah. I think Illinois survives that.
Or Mississippi State.
Potentially. Hopefully not. And then I've got Maryland over Arizona.
Me too.
I think that's, Arizona's a good team, but Maryland's a very good team. Out of the top right, this is our weird, ugly region. I've got Indiana advancing against Miami.
Yep.
And then I got Nova advancing. I know you have them against SGCU. I have them against Wazoo. Whoever it is, I think Nova advances the Sweet 16.
Nova's moving on.
Easily. We both picked UNLV. Do you have them moving on to your Sweet 16?
I do.
You do?
I do.
You do? Do you have them beating LSU?
I have them beating LSU.
Really?
I just don't have any confidence in this LSU team.
Wow. Okay.
I know I was really high on them early. This UNLV team, though, they're hot.
UNLV is hot. I think that the pure, raw talent of LSU outweighs it. I think Angel Reese just dominates down low, and the shooting catches life. But it's not a matchup to be overlooked either. UNLV is a great team. And then I do have the Ivy champs falling to Utah in the second round. You don't have Utah there.
I don't know what happened here, but I got NC State and Gardner-Webb. I got Gardner-Webb moving on.
Oof. In the battle for North Carolina, this guy believes in Gardner-Webb. A 15 seed to the Sweet 16. That's quite an achievement.
It's time for a little bit of mixing it up.
I think so. We keep hearing about how 14, 15, and 16 are untouchable. Maybe this is the year.
This is the year.
In our bottom left quadrant, I've got almost all favorites winning in the first round. In the second round, I've got Stanford beating Ole Miss.
Yep.
And then I've got Louisville upsetting Texas. Excuse me.
Same here.
I think Louisville is just we said it before, they're made for March.
Yeah.
I am believing in Duke still to advance to Sweet 16. I think I got them taking down Colorado. That'll be another, scrappy game. Just every game in this quadrant is going to be ugly.
It's going to be ugly. And then I also got Duke. I need to see the Duke-Iowa matchup.
Gotta see it. We've been talking about it all season long. They actually gave it to us. Sweet 16, Duke and Iowa. It's going to be nuts. And then in the bottom right quadrant, round of 32, I got Virginia Tech taking down South Dakota State.
Yep.
I think South Dakota State can give them a run, but I think the Hokies are real good. And then, this is a tricky one. I've actually got Iowa State beating Tennessee in the 5-4.
I mean, I knew you were going to have that going in.
I
see Tennessee moving on for you.
I've fallen into the Tennessee trap before.
Yeah.
And I think I keep saying it, but recency bias. Iowa State just won their conference. Weren't even in they were a 4 seed or something like that. Like we had Texas or Oklahoma. Iowa State, why not? They're riding the vibes. The state of Iowa, great basketball. There we go. Iowa State moves on. Vols, we'll see. Feel free to prove me wrong, but this is a big game. I don't know if I trust them in a big game. Next, we've got the Heels and the Buckeyes.
Buckeyes.
You got the Buckeyes?
I got the Buckeyes.
I've got the Heels.
Okay.
I think this Ohio State team has let me down before, and I don't feel super comfortable with the matchup with North Carolina. I've got UNC advancing.
I really like Deja Kelly. I think she could really show out here, but I think Ohio State's just better.
Yeah, Ohio State's got talent for sure. And then the last matchup, we've got Baylor and UConn. This is a classic matchup, which won't be quite as competitive as it would have been 5 years ago. I've got UConn advancing.
I have UConn moving on over Alabama.
Now, to the Sweet 16. I have not made these picks yet. I'm making these picks live. I've not even looked at them yet. I'm excited. This is my favorite part of the year. I love making these picks. Last few picks of the year. Got South Carolina, UCLA. You have UCLA as well, right?
Yep. South Carolina, UCLA.
I would love to give this one to UCLA. I think they've got a good squad. They gave South Carolina a tough game earlier. I think it'll be competitive, but it's hard to pick against number 1 overall. I got South Carolina advancing.
Yep. I agree 100%. I'll be really interested to see what Kiki Rice can do in the tournament.
Me too. Kiki Rice is a rising star for sure.
Yeah.
What a first year she's having.
We'll see that Charisma Osborne draft stock too.
Yeah, definitely. UCLA's got
some
ballers.
storylines.
They've got some ballers. There's a lot to watch there. How about over here on the let's stay at the quadrant here. So, Illinois or Mississippi State. Ideally Illinois versus Maryland. It's a Big 10 battle. Do you have your Illini advancing to the Elite Eight?
I don't, but I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah?
I might switch on the fly.
That would be crazy. That I think Maryland takes this one.
I agree. Maryland's a better team. Maryland's a better team, don't get me wrong. But it just takes one. Just takes one.
That's a strong mindset to have.
I'm going... No, I can't because I have UNLV on the other side.
I'm
sticking with Maryland. I'm not going to get too crazy.
I am rolling with Maryland as well. I think Illinois is good, but picking a team with a slash, another team, I don't know if I could pick them to go all the way to the Elite Eight. How about over here? Indiana and Villanova.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you have advancing here?
It's March, guys. Nova.
I'm in agreement.
There
I got
go.
4-seed Nova moving on. I think Indiana, good team, for sure. Good team, but I think they're overrated. I think we saw that in the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah.
I like Villanova. I like Villanova a lot.
Indiana just doesn't have Maddie Seegers.
They don't. That's the X factor.
Simple math.
Whenever you're wondering, will Villanova win or lose, consider that they have Maddie Seegers and the other team does not. Now, we've got... These are two teams we've paid a lot of attention to throughout the season. We've been talking about these two teams a lot. We got Utah, we got LSU. 2 versus 3. You don't have that at all. I have LSU and Utah. For me, I trust the raw talent of LSU, and I can't, in good conscience, have this team we've been hating on all season in my Elite Eight. Gotta prove the prove the storyline true at some point, I got LSU moving on.
Man, I hate this region.
This is so UNLV versus Gardner-Webb in the Sweet 16.
I like to think of myself as like an analytical guy.
Right.
I've genuinely made my decisions based on the stats.
Right.
And I ended up with UNLV Gardner-Webb.
It makes you wonder, what stats is this guy looking at?
I don't know what I'm looking at anymore. I got UNLV moving on.
UNLV to the Elite Eight is something else. My goodness. All right. Let's move away from that region. The bottom left, we got Seattle 4, we got Stanford, we got Louisville.
Stanford.
Yeah, it's got to be Stanford. I love Louisville in March. I think Haley Van Lith is the X factor. Could be the player of the tournament once again, but I think Stanford, too strong, too experienced. They're ready for it.
Yeah.
I don't think Louisville's going to be able to outlast Stanford. And then the crown jewel of our college basketball season, Duke and Iowa, the best offensive team in the country versus the best defensive team in the country. Also the worst offensive team in the country versus the worst defensive team in the country. Who do you have, Damon, advancing?
I have Iowa. I love Duke. Love this Duke team.
Love Duke.
Gotta go with Iowa.
If Duke is going to win games, they're going to have to play them ugly, sloppy, low scoring.
Mm-hmm.
You are never going to get Iowa down to that pace.
No.
They are going to play at their pace. They're going to enforce that pace no matter what. I got Iowa advancing. Out of the bottom right quadrant, the regional matchup, Virginia Tech and Iowa State. I'm rolling with the Hokies.
Me too.
Pretty easy one.
Yeah.
Virginia Tech, very talented team. Iowa State got good vibes going, but not going to outlast the Hokies.
Exactly.
And then North Carolina, you have Ohio State and 2C UConn. I think we can be in agreement on this one. It's the UConn Huskies.
It will be interesting, though, to see if AZ can stay on the court.
Yeah. That's been the question all season long for UConn is can they stay healthy as a team?
They got healthy at the right time now. Finally, guys.
But Jesus can they stay healthy? They are healthy now. Will they stay healthy? Is to be seen. Now, the Elite Eight. These are the final 8 teams in each of our brackets. Top left, we got South Carolina, we got Maryland. This might be the best matchup we've got.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be real interesting. They're both led by dominant centers. Diamond Miller versus Aaliyah Boston.
Diamond Miller listed as a guard. Plays like a big. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that. I thought she was a big. Kind of transcended.
She really is.
Yeah, kind of transcended.
Yeah, exactly.
Positionless players matching up. I think Maryland has a chance to give them a run, but I think South Carolina's got the shooting, the defense, the depth that we talk about to outlast Maryland. So I'm rolling with the Gamecocks.
I'm rolling South Carolina. I like the draft narrative storyline here.
Yeah.
Diamond Miller, Aaliyah Boston.
Diamond Miller's stock going up. Aaliyah Boston can only stay put or drop. So
I think it'd be hard for her to drop.
It'd be hard to drop. But it'll be interesting to see a couple of potential top 10 lottery picks going at it.
Uh-huh.
Then, in the top right, we've got LSU you don't have LSU. UNLV and Nova going at it. I've got LSU and Nova going at it. Do you finally drop UNLV or do they advance to the Final Four?
Final Four? No. Nova. Nova.
Also, Nova. LSU.
Can't abandon my roots.
You got to stick with it. You got to stick with Philly. I think Nova outlasts LSU despite, Angel Reese and all the names and everything. Villanova gets the dub there. Now, we've got just 2 more matchups in the Elite Eight to get to. Stanford, Iowa.
Ooh.
1 versus 2. This is a meeting of powerhouses here. This is going to be an excellent game as well. What do we think?
I love how we're talking about it like it's going to happen. We're just so good at this. We know it's going to happen.
This is going to happen. We're telling you what's going to happen. So feel free to roll with these.
UNLV, all the way.
UNLV, Final Four. Stanford and Iowa, you can kind of bet on this one. I think there's chaos to be had, but these are the 2 favorites out of that corner, and I think they're 2 of the best teams in the country. Yeah. So you know which way I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
I like Stanford. I love Iowa. I have all season. I'm staying loyal, staying true. I think Iowa has got the scoring. They've got everything. They're going to beat Stanford in the Elite Eight. Moving on.
Lock it in. Yeah, Iowa. I agree. It's the same thing with Nova. They got Maddie Segrist. Guess what? Iowa's got Caitlin Clark.
Iowa does have Caitlin Clark. Nobody else has Caitlin Clark. That makes a big difference. This one's a tough one to figure out, actually. 1 seed Virginia Tech, 2 seed UConn. Like, the initial response is like, oh, UConn, Final Four, lock it in. And I think the committee really tried to help them out by giving them a not too strong, corner of the bracket.
Exactly.
But Virginia Tech is a tough matchup for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
This is a tough one to figure out.
Yeah.
What do you got? What are you thinking?
I like UConn, granted that they're healthy. Everything here is subject to change based on whatever happens.
Right.
I like UConn. I think it's hard to bet against that Amor-Kitley combo in Virginia Tech, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
UConn moving on.
I want to put Virginia Tech in my Final Four, I do. But I think UConn's got the experience, and if they're healthy, I think they've got what it takes to go back to the Final Four.
Yeah.
But it will not be an easy one. They can kind of count on going to the Final Four, walking in most years. This is going to be a tough run for them. Now, we might be totally wrong about this because we know that 1 seeds get to the Final Four almost automatically most years. We have the same Final Four, 1 seed. So we've got South Carolina and Iowa on the left side, Villanova and UConn on the right side. South Carolina is the only 1 seed we have advancing. This is gonna be good. If this is what we get, I'll be very pleased with this.
Big East rematch. Ooh.
That's huge. So let's start on that side.
Okay.
Nova, UConn. Who you got?
Gotta ride with Nova.
Nova.
I think just the star power of Maddie Segrist. We talked about Haley Van List, 6-game player. Maddie Segrist is a 36-game player. How many games they played? Plus 6. Don't matter. She's that nice.
She's incredible. She's something else. I like Nova. I like Nova a lot. I'm gonna disagree with you here.
Okay.
I'm gonna go the opposite way of you. I'm gonna put UConn in the championship. Maybe Gino's motivated by his worst season in a while, his worst regular season in a while, and just wants to lock in March. I'm going to take the Huskies. Wouldn't hate to see Nova win it, though. For the sake of my bracket, I got the Huskies.
Bringing up Gino, I wouldn't be shocked if they disappoint. What's he doing?
Hot seat Gino.
I don't know about hot seat.
His job's in trouble.
His own hot seat.
Get this guy out of here.
He might want to walk.
On the left side, you've got the prohibitive favorite. In my mind, these are the 2 teams that everybody's looking at. Either this team or that team.
Mm-hmm.
You know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
South Carolina, Iowa. I love me some Iowa. I've said it all season long. I'm sticking with the Hawkeyes. Get them into that championship game. I think they upset the Gamecocks. Ruin that perfect season. Send them home.
There you go. 2 seeds moving on.
That's right. I got a 2 and a 2.
Cannot remember the last time that's happened.
Last 10 seasons, a 1 seed has won the national championship. Yeah. I do not have that happening.
Unfortunately, I do.
This guy.
And we're going South Carolina's moving on.
This freaking guy loves chalk. All right. So we've got opposite matchups, which is good.
Yeah.
That'll be a showdown in the Final Four.
When it happens.
This precise exact thing happens and these 4 teams are in the Final Four. Iowa, UConn, South Carolina, Nova. What's your thought process? Because this is the game. This is the final game. If there was ever a game to be right about, it's this game. So what are you looking at?
I'm looking at that battle down low. I think Aaliyah Boston wins any matchup in any game. I think South Carolina has the advantage with Dawn Staley on that sideline. Maddie Segrist is very good. I don't know if she can compete with all that talent in South Carolina.
It's a deep team. It's a really deep team. It's going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, I'm going South Carolina. Going undefeated all year.
South Carolina, wire to wire.
Yep.
There you go.
And he's going for a dip.
That's rude. You should be rooting for me to not have to go in the harbor. I'm not even gonna have to sweat it. They're gonna be eliminated in the final four. Caitlin Clark's gonna take care of business for me. And then
Max, what do you think?
The national championship game, April 2nd, Dallas, Texas, 2023. Iowa Hawkeyes over the Yukon Huskies. Give me Caitlin Clark, the best player in the country this year. Give me a coaching staff that we, in our unbiased opinion, think is the best in the world. Give me a parade in Iowa City. I want to be there. Yep. I'm picking for us to be in Iowa City for a championship parade. I'm picking Iowa over UConn to win the whole dang thing.
There we go.
Do you have... ESPN Bracket Challenge makes you pick a final score for the championship game.
I've given it zero thought. I'll throw some numbers out there.
Give me 66. No, they're going to score more than that. Yeah. Give me 69 to 64.
Okay.
It takes it by 5.
I'm thinking 72. We're going to have a high score.
Ooh, whoa.
High scoring matchup. 72 68.
Okay.
It'll be a battle.
Close game. Imagine if it's not. Imagine if South Carolina just wins every game by 20 points and then they win the national championship game.
I wouldn't be shocked.
Honestly, we might just be wrong about all this chaos and it's just South Carolina again.
They're minus 120 or whatever for a reason.
I've never seen championship odds like that. It's ridiculous. Submitting my picks. Confetti. Iowa national champions. Can't wait to see it.
Roll Cox.
Go join our ESPN Bracket Challenge group. Betting the W. This is the title. 3 different words.
Mm-hmm.
The password. Betting the W. All one word. No caps.
Out on Twitter. Check the Twitter. Out on Instagram.
Yep.
Check the Instagram.
Go find that link on social media. Join us. See how your bracket matches up with ours.
Mm-hmm.
You're up against a challenge here because we've got
two perfect
brackets.
Good luck. Hope to see you on the pod.
Yes.
Actually, I don't because I'm going to win. But
right. We're going to
hope to see you come take a victory lap.
We already have the winner on the pod. Folks, have an amazing March Madness. We will talk with you next week about the first couple rounds. We can't wait to see what goes down. Bracketology is the best. This is the best time of year. Thanks for joining us for our picks. Be well. See ya.